football fans, welcome to a brand new week. Yes, and right here in One for Sports, where we bring you the latest happenings in the world of sports. It's already 17 days to Christmas, and the weather is already smelling or saying Christmas, Christmas, Christmas is around the corner. Hope you're feeling the vibe too. I remain yours truly, Chikezokwin Choma, your sports goddess, your sports queen, or queen of the airways. And I'm set to take you through the happenings in the world of football today. So we're going to be looking at the weekend roundup across Europe's top 5 leagues and other leagues in the world. It was a dramatic weekend, one that left so many fans jaw-dropping. Like, a lot of things that happened were not expected. Now, let's start off with the Premier League, where finally Arsenal, at some points, it was just, will this Arsenal ever lose a game? But that debate has been put to rest because finally Arsenal lost 2-0. They lost to Aston Villa this weekend. So the jinx is broken. 18 games in all competitions without a loss. That has finally been laid to rest. Unai Emery seemed to be one coach that has Arsenal at the back of his palm. Like, he can literally read Arsenal like a book and come out with exciting results. What the likes of Real Madrid, likes of Bayern Munich were not able to do. Unai Emery and his Aston Villa team did it. Moving on from that, let's talk about Liverpool. Looks like Liverpool will have to be a topic of debate or a topic of discussion week in, week out. Losing 2 goals advantage to Leeds United, ending that game 3-all. That's quite embarrassing. The highlight of that game is the fact that the man Mo Salah was on the bench. And man has actually expressed his dissatisfaction and his disappointment over that very feat. Like, how do you keep him on the bench? And this is the third time he's been benched for a full 90 minutes this season. And he's not happy. He says it seems like someone wants him to take all the blames and someone doesn't want him in the club anymore. Let me read his quote for you. I can't believe it. Now, the interviewer or the journalist asked him, "What can't you believe?" He replied, "That I'm sitting on the bench for 90 minutes. I think it's the third time I have been benched. It's the first time in my career. I think it's very clear that someone will blame me entirely. The club promised me a lot in the summer, but I've been on the bench for 3 games. I can't say they've kept their promises. I have said many times that I have a good relationship with the manager, but suddenly we don't have a relationship anymore. I don't know why. It seems like someone doesn't want me at the club. I am very disappointed. I have done so much for this club. Everyone has seen it over the past few years, especially last season. I don't know why I am on the bench. It feels like the club is throwing me under the bus. That's how I feel. I do not accept the situation." That's quite heartfelt, if you ask me, for Mo Salah. I mean, if you even look at what he's saying, it's true. This is a player that since joining Liverpool, he had never had a season where he scored less than 23 goals and had less than 10 assists in a particular season. It has never happened. So having Mo Salah be on the bench for 3 straight games, that's massive. And do you agree with him that someone doesn't want him at the club anymore? Meanwhile, there are rumors that Mo Salah might just be joining another top European team instead of going to Saudi Arabia. Well, we wait to see, as that is just a rumor. Moving on to another team that got a win this weekend, that's Manchester City. They had a comfortable 3-0 win over Sunderland. And that win ensured that the gap between them and table toppers Arsenal have been reduced to just 2 points, making the season so far interesting. I mean, we have more like we are getting into the mid-season, and Man City again, despite starting poorly, are beginning to get into the conversation. Although for some persons, they will always be one of the favorites to win the Premier League. But then this weekend, they ensured that idea, that notion has become very visible. 2 points away from Arsenal. Would they eventually break the deadlock, or would they eventually top Arsenal maybe at the end of December, heading into January? Well, we wait to see. But it was an impressive performance for them at the weekend. And Crystal Palace are in the top four. Yes, they are fourth on the log with a 2-1 win away to Fulham. They secured their top fourth spot. Interesting, if you ask me. Well, let's see how the season pans out at the end of the day for this side. Let's see what the table will look like by the time we get to the end of December. That will be more like the mid-season, and then heading into January and all. Now, let's take a look at the results of the matches played in the Premier League at the weekend. It was Aston Villa 2, Arsenal 1. Everton 3, Nottingham Forest 0. Newcastle United 2, Burnley 1. Manchester City 3, Sunderland 0. Tottenham Hotspur 2, Brentford 0. Bournemouth 0, Chelsea 0. Leeds United versus Liverpool, it was 3-3. Brighton and Hove Albion versus West Ham 1-1. Fulham lost 1-2 against Crystal Palace. Now, moving on from the Premier League, let's look at the La Liga over the weekend. It was a dramatic weekend for La Liga, especially in the game between Real Madrid and Celta Vigo. For the first time in a very long time, Real Madrid lost at home by 2-0 to Celta Vigo. Now, that's not even the issue. I think the stunner for some Madrid fans will be the fact that Madrid had 3 red cards in that encounter. 2 red cards to players on the pitch, Casilla and Caceres. Yeah? The most iconic, if there's anything like an iconic red card, would be the red card to Hendrick, who actually didn't start or play in that encounter, but got red carded because he left the bench to confront the 4th official on the touchline. And that earned him a red card, meaning that Madrid got beaten on the night and got 3 red cards on the same night. I can't remember the last time this kind of a thing happened to Real Madrid. And some fans are saying it was Madrid that signed Alonso, but it's Barca that is playing Alonso ball. What do you think? Talking about Barca, they took advantage of the Madrid loss to extend their lead at the top of the La Liga table. 4 points clear of Real Madrid, who are in second. Yes. And then, yes, they defeated Real Betis 5-3. It was an 8-goal thriller encounter. I'm going to ask, as a La Liga fan, or a Real Madrid fan, or even a Barca fan, do you think this is a one-off setback for Real Madrid, that they are going to bounce back and probably win the league at the end of the season? Or you think Hansi Flick and his Barca side are going to go all through from now to winning the league at the end of the season? Well, let us know on the comment section. The results of the game played in La Liga over the weekend. It was Villarreal 2, Getafe 0. Deportivo Alaves defeated Real Sociedad 1-0. Real Betis 3, Barcelona 5. Athletic Club 1, Atletico de Madrid 0. Elche 3, Girona 0. Elche ended their long winless streak at the weekend with that win. Valencia 1, Sevilla 1. Espanyol 1, Rayo Vallecano 0. Real Madrid 0. Celta Vigo 2. In the Bundesliga, Bayern Munich continued their emphatic dominance of the league. They won in their game about 5-1 or 5-0. It ended with Harry Kane scoring a hat-trick in that encounter. Now, let's take a look at the results of games played in the Bundesliga. It ended Mainz 0-5. Borussia Mönchengladbach 1. FC Cologne 1. St. Pauli 1. Wolfsburg 3. Union Berlin 1. Augsburg 2. Bayern Leverkusen 0. Heidenheim defeated Freiburg 2-1. Stuttgart lost to Bayern, like I said, Bayern Munich 5-0. RB Leipzig defeated Eintracht Frankfurt with an emphatic 6-0. Hamburger 3, Werder Bremen 2. Borussia Dortmund defeated Hoffenheim 2-0. And in Serie A, Napoli went top of the table with a win against Juventus. Manchester United Loni, talking about Rushmond Holland, scored the 2 goals that ensured that Napoli defeated Juventus 2-1 to go top of the table. Inter also secured a 4-0 win over Cesc Fabregas Como. Now, all the hype around Cesc Fabregas and his Como side have been laid to rest. Let me bring you the results of the games played in Serie A at the weekend. It was Sassuolo 3, Fiorentina 1. Inter Milan defeated Como 4-0. Hellas Verona defeated Atlanta 3-1. Cremonese defeated Lecce 2-0. Cagliari defeated AS Roma 1-0. Lazio and Bologna shared the spoil, 1-1 it ended. And then it ended Napoli 2, Juventus 1. Moving on from there, let's go to some other league in the world. And we're going to pay attention at the MLS. Yes, over the weekend, Lionel Messi guided Inter Miami to winning the MLS Cup. Now, let me remind you that when Lionel Messi joined the side, they were the worst team in the MLS. They were 15th on the log. Fast forward to 3 years later, they are MLS champion. And Lionel Messi was also named the MLS Player of the Season. Now, that trophy means that Lionel Messi has won 48 trophies in his career. Next is Sebastian Heller, the one that survived cancer, came to play in the last edition of the AFCON and helped his side, Ivory Coast, to win the trophy against Nigeria. He scored a goal in that encounter. Now, remember him, right? Now, he has slammed the journalist who asked him if he had preferred to stay at the club and play football or go for the AFCON. Now, let me read his reply word for word. He said, "This question shows all the lack of respect you have for Africa. Would you ask this question to an European player before Euro? Of course, I will go and play in the AFCON." I think I like that because it's high time we begin to command respect. Yes, AFCON shouldn't be treated as second to any other continental tournament. It is AFCON should be rated at the same level as the Euros. And a player shouldn't be asked if he had preferred to play at the club side or go for AFCON. And for me, I think the reply from Sebastian was top-notch. Or what do you think? And finally, away from football to some other sports, and we are pitching our tent with the MMA, that's the mixed martial arts, where former two division champion, that's a former flyweight and bantamweight champion Henry Cejudo, has retired from UFC. He made the announcement over the weekend after he failed to secure a win against Pelton Tabor, incurring his fourth straight losses. If you ask me, I think it's the right time for the man to call it quit. I mean, you've lost your last four bouts, and in addition, you're going to be turning 39 in February, more like 2 months away. Yeah, I know the saying that it's always better to call it quit or to take a bow when the ovation is loudest. But unfortunately, the ovation is not as loud as he would have expected it or as loud as he would have wanted it. But all the same, it is the right time to say goodbye to UFC. And we are wishing him all the best in whatever he chooses to do in the future. And that's what we call it a wrap for today. And before we go, sorry, there are Champions League games to be played this weekend, or this midweek rather. Yes, Champions League games are going down the radar. And we're going to be having some exciting games during the midweek. So let's look out for it. The likes of Arsenal, Real Madrid, Chelsea, everybody will be in action, Man City and all. How will they manage? Especially for Arsenal that lost at the weekend. Will they shake it off and move on, continue with their win in the Champions League? Well, we wait to see. So that's it for today. See you again next time, but always please subscribe, like, comment, and please share. Yes, share. See you again, and Merry Christmas in advance. Bye-bye.